Welcome back to Watching the Throne on the Late Night Chat Network, episode 59. All right, welcome back, everybody. What's going on, Jay?
What's up, Nico?
Not much.
Welcome back,
We're
everybody.
continuing here and recording in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning back in, everybody. If this is your first time watching this show, this is our Game of Thrones, kind of like breakdown, like review show, going through episode by episode, talking about these at length, giving you all the scenes here, and we kind of discuss them. And this is my first time rewatching the series ever since it originally aired, and this is JT's first time watching the show ever. He got into it through watching House of the Dragon, which we talked about it last episode, that the trailer at the time of this recording had just dropped, the first trailer tease of basically season 2. At the time, at the time I hadn't seen it, and now I have watched it, so I got to comment on it. I got to say, it's got me really pumped and looking forward to it, the return of season 2. Not only that, just what a fucking difference in terms of how that show looks, in terms of the graphics, in terms of like the cinematography in that
Everything.
like show. Yeah, I mean,
Just so much different.
the production value on that show, the first season, was like amazing. Like that was, I remember, one of the main things we talked about even back then when we were watching it, and we had
you got me hyped, right?
Right.
It was the graphics too, right?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, this Game of Thrones took place much earlier in terms of like the advancement in technology for this kind of thing and how it looks and stuff like that. And while Game of Thrones is still good, and it's all about, there's many other aspects that make the show good, just it's night and day in terms of like looking at it, and it's gotten better. We've seen it getting better over time. Like this episode that we're going to be talking about today, for instance,
it has gotten
very well shot. Yeah, I mean, we were even talking about this with our buddy Lewis earlier today, and we had mentioned we were about to do this episode. And he had mentioned a couple of just nice shots, like the cinematography in this episode particularly, that were very, very well done. And it's true, it's a very nice looking episode. But I just think, like, when it comes to the dragons, when it comes to certain aspects of the show, and it's so important, obviously, that show now is what it is and what it's taking place when it is, because of the fact that the graphics look so much better now, right?
Well, like a retro graphics. And if you look at it, if you think of it this way, when you guys first originally watched this one here, Game of Thrones, that graphic was ahead of its its time. It was probably ahead of its time, and it looked pretty sick, right? So
yeah, I think also too, like, it was just like, this is a proven success now for them, so they can maybe this time around more confidently put more money into the production of a show like House of the Dragon, whereas
it doesn't cost as much more.
I mean, because HBO is traditionally very cheap, like in terms of like the cost they put into things, right? From what I've heard, or at least what they pay people, I guess, to do HBO shows, even though it's usually the best shows on TV come from HBO, at least in my experience, right? Like majority, although there's other people now, Apple and things like that.
That's what I mean. I feel like they might have to. That's why maybe HBO stepping it up with the money they're putting in, because they have to, because of all this.
Did you not hear, like, the Amazon, that Lord of the Rings show is the most expensive fucking show, I feel like, of all time? I heard, like, the money they put into that. The money that they put into that, like, Jeff Bezos of Amazon was just like, oh yeah, my son likes Lord of the Rings, so like it was like their most expensive show they ever produced.
So everybody that has $9.99 subscriptions, bro, for Amazon,
I've yet to finish it, because I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings guy, which is fucking weird, because whenever you say that to people and they're like, oh, but you like Game of Thrones, I'm like, yeah, but it's, even though it's fantasy and it's like, it's much different. It really
I've never tried Lord of the Rings, so I don't even know if I'd like it.
I don't think I mean, I don't like it, and I like this, you know what I mean? Like, so I mean, mean, like, I'm
But
not.
I mean, who knows, right? I mean, it
Yeah,
could be weird, right? Like,
you
could
like a
be
lot of
different.
fantasy type stuff, though. I
I
feel
do.
like
It's just
so.
I'm picky sometimes too, like that. When you I like the way that you're saying too, right? In that
I
sense.
started watching it and I'll finish it, and I've watched all the film. Listen, I've watched them. It's just they're not my favorite. Like if I had to compare them or even like to other things I
Yeah.
enjoy, it's not high on my list. Like this is to me much better than that, right?
Yeah.
But but it does
It
have
almost feels realistic. This, even though it's fantasy in a sense.
yeah, there is. I think they've really like again, this is a world of dragons, but I think like the human relationships between like these characters is
similar.
what's interesting about the
Yeah.
show, right?
And it's
Yeah.
very similar to real life in that
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. So
So
so anyways, yeah, we're here to talk about episode it's 59 of Watching the Throne here as we are about to close out
wow.
the last the season 6 of Game of Thrones. And Jay, after this episode, including the finale of Game of Thrones, we have 14 episodes left to go. We're fucking
Fuck.
closing in on really having less than 10 soon. So yeah, it's
This is why I'm trying to keep up with this, and because I know it's going to be crunch time, and it's going to be
yeah,
a lot of stuff happening at once
right.
because it's just
And
so many left.
And stay tuned, guys. I believe we have returning guest Kyle that will be
Nice.
joining us for the finale of this season, episode 10 of season 6, the next episode. So stay tuned for that. And as always, like and subscribe. And thank you for your support on this show. Leave a comment and also, like I said, there's a whole playlist of these things. By the time we're all done here, it's going to be over 70 episodes, and then we'll be moving on to House of the Dragon, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be a lot, very interesting. And yeah, we'll continue to air Thursdays at 8 p.m. We've kept up with our schedules when it comes to that. We haven't missed a week, I think. So that's good.
Doing pretty
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe I did maybe
I think there's
once.
once. I think you're right. There's 1 week I think we put out
Yeah.
one late. Yeah. But then since then, yeah, it's just it's been good.
Consistent.
Okay, so this episode though, Jay, Battle of the Bastards, Game of Thrones, season 6, episode 9. When did this originally air?
2006, May
2016?
2016.
Yeah.
Sorry, May 6th, May 19th.
May 19th, 2016.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 06, 19, right? So May 19th.
No, that's June.
No,
06. 06 is June.
Isn't it 05 June?
No, 05 is May.
Oh, okay.
March is 3, April 4, May is 5th.
I'm going backwards.
06.
Yeah.
So June
June 19th.
June 19th, 2016. Okay,
Yes.
this is when that originally aired.
Yes, when I read it like that, it's weird. I should have wrote May. I should have wrote June or whatever, instead.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, that's when it originally aired on TV. And yeah, what did you think of this episode?
This one was great, man. This had
Yeah.
a lot of interesting stuff going on, and just to start off the episode, it was kind of crazy. So, yeah, and to finish it off was even better. I'm kind of disappointed. I knew
Yeah.
something when you talk about Battle of the Bastards. There's only a few people on the show that you can actually
Sure.
put into that category.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I didn't know who was going to
Here-
be the one.
listen.
I kind of figured who was going to be the ones, but I didn't know who was going to be the triumphant one or whatever.
Here's the thing, and I'll say this. I'll open up by saying this because yeah, jumping ahead. Your boy here gets taken out this episode, right?
Yeah, unfortunately,
Okay.
his dogs were hungry.
So the thing about that is that here's the difference. He was a great villain.
Yes.
And rewatching this, I completely recognize that. And I can confidently say he's such a great
Right to
villain.
the end.
Yeah. And honestly, like that's the difference between his character and someone like Joffrey, who's a good villain, but just someone you don't like as a villain. Like he just annoyed me.
Like I still told you, I wanted to have coffee with this guy, even though he was a villain.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but this guy was a piece of garbage. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it was interesting.
Yeah.
Like every scene he was in, even like his motivations and his like, yeah, exactly. Like just the way he ticked and like, and again, like the way he thought, like, he was very clever. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that all that makes for very interesting his motives. And yeah, this is just a good villain. He's a very good villain. Actually, here, it's funny. I wanted to save this for this episode.
It was a funny
I
thing
seen a
that-
post the other day. I don't know. Are you going to say the same thing I was going to say? What are you going to say? What's funny thing? Go
No,
ahead.
I was going to say the funny thing is this is the one villain that I lost that actually, I give a fuck about. Like it's not, It's
Right.
not like when it was usually they kill off the people that you like,
Right.
right? But I kind of
So
liked him, even
right.
though he was the bad guy in a sense, right?
So this is something I posted I seen from online here, and I don't know how accurate this is, but this is very interesting. Okay, of course we were talking about Ramsey Bolton in this episode, but I know we've been kind of dancing around his name there. I said your boy there, but yeah, this is stats taken from rankings as of November 14th, 2023 on Ranker. There's a Ranker thing online where people go and rank things like a website, right? This is out of 178,000 votes. Apparently, I seen this post online the other day. The most hated TV characters of all time. Okay.
Oh fuck.
Okay. So this is the most hated TV characters. Do you have any guesses? Okay.
There's a lot of characters out there, bro. I wouldn't know.
They put the top 12 at least on this post. I see the top 12. So do you want to take any guesses for? They're not all Game of Thrones either. But for Game of Thrones, do you want to guess which characters could possibly be on here? There's more than one. I'll give you a clue.
Well, I mean, it would probably have to be Joffrey and Ramsay would have to be on.
Okay.
There.
Anybody else or just those two, you think?
Villains, what's his name?
No, not even villains. The most hated TV characters of all time.
The one that's sleeping with his daughters. What's his name?
No, he's dead.
Yeah, I know.
Walter, not from Walter Frey. The other guy, yeah.
But I know he's dead. I know he's dead. But yeah, no, I just feel like because at one point he was just a weird guy. But I don't know. I can't.
Anybody else from Game of Thrones or just Walt?
Obviously, it's got to be, if there's a woman, it's got to be Cersei.
Okay.
I would think.
Right.
She seems like a bitch.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Was there more from Game of Thrones? Is there actually more from Game of Thrones?
I will. There is. Out of the top 12, top 12, there is 3.
So I had 4 there, I guess.
No, wait. You also said the guy was sleeping with their daughters. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we'll leave it at
top those 3:
Joffrey, Ramsay, and Cersei. You're
so
right.
Far.
All 3 of those are on there. Those are the 3. Those are the 3. You got it.
Those seem to be
the most evil people on the show, right? Yeah. Okay.
So
where do you think Joffrey plays? Out of top 12.
The way you guys made it sound about the character and how much you guys say, even the way you hated him.
Right.
I feel like he's up there, like at least within the top 3. Maybe I could say, I don't know. I can't think of any other TV villains in the sense that I don't like.
You're right though. Top 3.
Yeah.
Where do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah. Joffrey, out of 178,000 people that ranked to the most hated characters on TV, he is number 1. Joffrey.
Wow.
How about Ramsay?
Ramsay's got to be at least right behind him.
You're right. Ramsay's number 2.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree with that. I mean, like, okay, I
feel like Ramsay was worse.
I mean, if it goes by, well, yeah, he did way more despicable things. But I mean, if it goes by like we're supposed to hate these people based on how shitty of people they are, then yeah, he should be number 1 as far as I'm concerned.
I feel like maybe it was overlooked because maybe he's the other one killed Stark.
But I also think like we have to consider like just because the reason they're hated characters, not only because they're bad, just because I think sometimes they're shit like they're unlikable characters. Where I think Ramsay is very, like I said, I think he's a great character. Yeah, so I actually think I wouldn't put him on this list. Yeah, I hated that he's such a piece of shit. Yeah, but not in the sense that I think he's a character I don't like, right? So anyways.
But the good thing about that is that means their character, they played really good roles.
Yeah,
they did their job properly.
Exactly. And where do you think Cersei places on this list then?
Fuck. Then if
out
it's
of
gonna
top 12,
I feel like then she's gonna be at number 3, man. She's got to be up there too. With
no, you got the first 2. You did a really good job. She's not number 3 though. She's actually 7.
7.
You want to hear what the others are?
Yeah, in between.
Okay, so these are some
12,
other hated ones that I agree with. Joffrey's number 1, Ramsay's number 2, Skylar from Breaking Bad's number 3. She was terrible. She was pretty shit. People hated her. I know I hated her. A lot of. Okay, number 4, Tony Soprano's mother, Livia Soprano. Of course,
wow.
evil woman. I agree. I hated her too.
I'm just thinking there'd be worse people, man.
Number 5, Janice Soprano. It's not Tony's sister.
Well, she was different, yeah, but I don't think she was that evil.
And then number 6.
That's all about. They all want money.
Number 6, you got Shu Tucker, which is a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood character. That's an anime. Yeah.
No idea.
Cersei's number 7. Number 8,
Mhm.
Lori Grimes,
Grimes
is
from Nick Grimes from fucking
his wife.
yeah,
Yeah, his wife.
because she slept with his friend.
Yeah, I guess. Lori
Bitch.
Grimes, number 8. Number 9, Caillou from the cartoon Caillou. The bald one.
That kid,
Yeah.
that Caillou fucking.
Apparently people hate that kid. They think it's annoying.
Oh wow, okay, so it's not so much that they did bad things; it's
Right.
just annoying
Right.
characters. Yeah.
Number 10, Emily Waltham from Friends. Is that the No, that's Janice.
It's
Who's Emily?
Janice, isn't it?
Yeah, who's
Is it-
Emily? Emily Waltham from Friends. I don't know. Anyways, I guess
I
somebody
would
from
think
Friends.
that's Janice, no, with that annoying voice.
No, but that's not her name. It's Janice, her name on the show. This is as it says Emily. This is the name of the character. I don't know.
That's
Maybe one of Ross's wives or something like that. The one that left him at the altar or something, right? Like, wasn't he getting fell in love with a lesbian on that show or something? She became a lesbian. Maybe it's her.
It could be her or her girlfriend. She has orange hair.
Number 11 is the governor from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, the governor.
Yeah.
He was gone.
And number 12 is somebody from the show Glee, which I don't know, Rachel Berry. So there you go. So Joffrey number 1, Ramsay number 2, and the most hated TV character.
But see, I feel like they deserve if there was a villain character sort of way. But I mean, yeah, they just played. That just means they play their role well. If they're not that person in real life,
so I
got Ellen DeGeneres wasn't on there. No, fuck.
A lot of people hate her too. But
yeah,
there you go, guys. That's I just kind of want to throw that out as a fun thing because I came across it literally this week, right? On Instagram.
So weird. That's what I mean. That's why I try to stay off the thing because it ends up showing me stuff that shows a.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah. Well, that didn't spoil anything for you. It was just a fun conversation.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. It leads me to those things, right? Because it's always showing up.
So, anyways, this episode, I agree with you. Great episode. Let's get into it.
Fuck.
Let's get into it. First off here, Daenerys and Tyrion discuss a plan to deal with the slaver fleet as the pyramid is bombarded with flaming cannonballs. Daenerys wants to slaughter their army, but Tyrion suggests taking it to the masters about terms of surrender and reminding Daenerys about her father's plan to destroy King's Landing using wildfire and the consequences when his brother Jaime killed the Mad King. Daenerys, Tyrion, Missandei, and Grey Worm meet with the masters. They tell Daenerys that they will let her and Tyrion leave the city if they hand over the Unsullied and Missandei to be resold into slavery and allow her dragons to be slaughtered. Anything you got to say there, Jay?
I thought it was kind of cool that he's trying to say, well, the city's on the rise and it's getting burnt down.
Yeah,
at the same time,
that's right.
Like he's trying to sell it good, man.
Yes.
He's really good at how he's talking. But no, then he got into the story about the Mad King and why Jaime had to do it,
That's right?
Because if you didn't do it, sometimes people just have to be taken out, right?
Yep.
Just to make everything else work, right?
Yeah, I know. He's just like, I know it doesn't look it right now, but the city is on the rise.
Yeah. He keeps reassuring her. It's so funny.
They tell Dany that I said that already. She tells them that she had agreed to meet with them as she was offering them a chance to surrender, not the other way around.
And she's like, oh, yeah. Well, I didn't come for me to surrender.
Yeah.
I came for you.
As Drogon flies in to meet her, she rides Drogon into the bay as Rhaegal and Viserion break free from captivity beneath the Great Pyramid to join them, and they begin to burn a few ships in the attacking fleet.
I always thought that was funny because remember well, I guess now that they're just in the caves, they're not on the chains anymore. Because it doesn't show that, right? Because they couldn't even break out of the chains the first time. So how did they break out of the?
Well, they're pissed off, I guess. I don't know.
It's like, how did she talk to them?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Daario arrives at Meereen with Daenerys's Dothraki horde, and they take out the Sons of the Harpy at the city gates. The Master soldiers abandon them at Grey Worm's invitation. And Tyrion gives an ultimatum that one of the 3 masters must die as punishment for their disobedience. I really liked this because this was I felt like one of the first major dragon beatdowns, from the dragons, and they actually, and it actually looked decent compared to even some of the earlier seasons with the dragons.
I mean, I think it still looks funny when she's on top of the dragon. It looks
to be honest, even in House of the Dragon, it kind of looks a little you know what I mean?
It's still you're sitting on something that's not really
that's
there.
Right. Yeah. I liked Tyrion's move here that he pulls out in this next scene. I really liked what he pulled off here. He had some balls here. Yezin, the lowest of the three, is immediately scapegoated by the other two for not being highborn. As he kneels on the ground and begs Grey Worm not to kill him, Grey Worm instead slits the throats of the other two with one slash of his dagger. Tyrion tells him to share what he had seen in Meereen and what Daenerys is capable of. I just kind of liked how he approached him and kind of said, "Oh yeah, well, one of you guys has to die," and they fucking threw that guy to the wolves. And they're like, it's kind of smart on Tyrion's part. He's like, "Yeah, kill the other two and keep this one because then he'll become loyal." Kind of, you know what I mean? Like he's just like he's like, remember that these guys didn't care about you at all, right? In this moment, right? And we will. You just need to deliver this message. And I kind of liked that, how he kind of was so calm when he told them about that, right? He's just like, yeah, this is how it's gonna go.
They're taking all the ships.
Then we got Jon, Sansa, Tormund, Davos, Lyanna, and the other Northern lords that declared House Stark have a parley with Ramsay, Harold Karstark, and Small John Umber before they commence battle. Ramsay offers surrender terms, saying that he will pardon Jon for deserting the Night's Watch and the Northerners in Jon's forces for rebelling against him if Jon hands over Sansa. Jon refuses and offers Ramsay a chance to settle the dispute in one-on-one combat. Ramsay rejects a one-on-one combat with Jon, noting that he doubts he can beat best Jon in a duel, but he is confident that his superior forces will triumph in battle.
It's so funny because he knows. He goes, "Why would I fight against the
right.
one of the best swordsmen out there?" They're saying, right?
I like how he's like so coy about it. He's like, "They say you're the best swordsman. Maybe you are." He's like, right? He's like, "I don't know. Like, I don't really want to find out." Right?
Yeah. I got a lot more people than you, buddy.
That's right. I liked how he kind of was acting like that. And I like how when
he's
Sansa,
cocky, man. He's a mind fuck.
Yeah, and then when Sansa, well, that's all he is mind games, right?
And that's the best way to do it sometimes.
Sansa, when she rolls up too, he's like, "Oh, my beautiful wife." He's like, "How are you?"
I can't wait to see you back at home.
Yeah, tonight. In my bed. What a fucking piece of shit.
Guy. So he's raping her. Fucking. Let's go for coffee, bro.
Jon counters that Ramsay's men may not want to fight for him if he will not fight for them. I liked that. Yeah, I like that.
You know what? That was actually a smart move because honestly,
well, the look on his face after he said that to him, he's like, "Oh, you're very good." He's like, "Fucking good, well played."
Men too. Yeah. Do I trust my men?
Well, his men are standing behind him, a couple of them, when he said that, right? He's like, "Well, we can end this right here. Why would your men want to go to war for you if you're not willing to go to war for them, right?" Like, I like that. It's true. Lead by example, bro. Like the fact that he even offered that. All right, I like that. Jon, like, it seemed like Sansa was giving him shit. It seemed like that she thought that he was being weak and not understanding him. But at the same time, he's like, he's like, at the same time, he's like, I know. He's like, did you really expect him to give up? He's like, no. Like, they said that afterwards. He's like, I know what he wouldn't. I'm just trying to make a fuck with him as well, right? Yeah, exactly.
So he knows how to play.
He
came back alive.
Yeah. In response, Ramsay threatens Rickon. Jon and Sansa are wary of whether Ramsay actually has their brother, to which Umber throws out Shaggy Dog's head as proof.
It still looks so fake. Looked like a pig head for a second at one point, but no, I got it. I got the point of it. When they threw it out, they threw the head down. I fucking felt bad. There's no more direwolves. One direwolf, man.
Sansa refuses the terms.
Not even one direwolf.
Sansa refuses the terms of surrender and tells Ramsay that he will die. Yeah, Jon's is still there. Yeah. Sansa refuses the terms of surrender and tells Ramsay he will die the following day before riding off. Yeah, more direwolf disrespect I wrote here. And that line about would you be willing to fight for? Yeah, that was excellent. Excellent stuff.
And then they write his dogs. He says his dogs are hungry.
Mm-hmm. Talks some shit. Talks some shit.
Yeah, they're gonna fight in the morning.
Says that to Davos and all them and Tormund. He's like, "Oh, see you men tomorrow." He's like, "My dogs are hungry." Yeah, just talking some smack. After a meeting where Jon discusses the battle plan with Tormund and Davos, Sansa gives Jon shit for attacking too early, insisting that they should have gathered more men. Jon retorts that this is the largest army that they could possibly gather. Sansa, knowing Ramsay the best, warns Jon of his cunning and cruel nature. But Jon assures her that he has faced worse. In the end, he promises to protect Sansa from Ramsay, to which she cynically replies that no one can keep anyone safe. I think she was right in this scene a little bit by saying to him, like, do you think not know? Like, you think I don't know
How
what
he
this guy's
thinks.
like? I
Yeah.
spent the most time with him, right? Well, she's right. I mean,
But
she,
he also said something just before that he says he wanted him to John
that's
wanted
right.
him to come at him
That's right.
crazy and
He
angry. You know
wants
what
him
I
to be
mean?
off kilter tomorrow during the
Yeah,
battle.
to
Yeah,
just throw him
exactly.
off. But you know,
Yeah, a lot of pressure on John though. She put a lot. There's a lot of pressure on this man. Like, I can't imagine. Like, this guy knows he's outdone in terms of his army size compared to
she
this
says she's
guy.
gonna fall. She says it straight. They're gonna fall in his trap. He's gonna fall in his trap, man.
Mhm.
Right?
Um, what does he say here?
Says Rickon is not gonna
I
live.
no, yeah. I just like. I said I wrote here. I love John trying to explain what he means to Tormund in this scene, because he's trying to attack. He's trying to tell him that if we pull this move off, then they can't attack from both sides. Remember, like, he's trying to tell him like the game plan for tomorrow,
Yeah.
and he keeps phrasing it different ways because Tormund's a wildling. He doesn't understand the words he's using, and he's
Yeah.
like, you can't attack from both sides. He's like, oh, I like how he's trying to like explain it to Tormund, right?
Because he's looking at the board like
That's right.
confused.
Yeah, he's like, what?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, John meets with Melisandre and orders her not to bring him back if he should fall in the battle. Melisandre contends that she will try anyway, and that it was not her gift that has brought John back, but the Lord of the Light, and that only the Lord of the Light can decide John's fate. Melisandre ponders that the Lord of the Light may have brought John back to only die in the battle. And that's when there's that line. He's like, what kind of God would like do that? Like, she's like, the one that we have, right? She tells him, like, yeah, I'm sorry, that's the truth of it, right? Like, that it might be, maybe he just wants you to come back and then come back again, right? You never know. Um
I think
and
we missed a part there as we were talking about how
oh yeah,
Sansa
I
was
did.
saying.
I jumped
Sansa was
ahead.
gonna say
Yeah.
how Rickon, how he's a bigger threat to all of them, even if he is alive. He's a bigger threat to John than
Yeah.
John or Sansa, right? Because
Yeah.
he's the only actual Stark left, right?
Yeah, you're right. In the camp, Davos and Tormund discuss their time
Yeah.
serving both Stannis and Mance, and both
But she
they.
doesn't want to come back alive if they lose, eh?
No, John doesn't want to, right?
So does Sansa. She said
Yeah.
the same thing too, right? But
Uh,
you're right. That was one thing they were
they
talking
talk,
about. It was
and
he goes, you think we can win?
yeah,
Yeah. And Tormund's like, yes.
and they kind of say like they both were serving the wrong king in their previous situations, and he basically says like, yeah, but John is no king. He doesn't. That's not that's not who we're following now. And Tormund kind of asks like, yeah, do you want to come have a drink with me? And he's
Yeah.
just
What
like,
is it called? Happy goat's milk.
yeah, he's like, oh, as delicious as that sounds, I like to think and walk the night. I can never sleep the night before a battle. And then he said he's gonna shit his guts out because
Yeah.
he's nervous,
Yeah.
obviously, right?
But
Yeah.
the happy goat's milk, what I was thinking about that was, I'm like, okay, goat's milk isn't so bad, but happy goat's milk, I'm wondering if it's the semen
Jizz,
from the
maybe.
goats, because that's when a goat is
Yeah,
happy, right?
it's a good point. That could be what it
And
is.
that's what gives him the like he needs to drink it for the
Could be what it was.
So
Yeah,
I thought it was
gross.
funny. Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't put it past the wildlings though.
Yeah.
But then this is a very important scene. As
Yes.
the sun rises, after he walks all night, Davos comes across the pyre on which Shireen Baratheon was sacrificed.
This is nice and
A-
weird.
And in the remains, he finds the wooden like stag he carved for her and gave to her the last time that they were together. And he finally realizes in this moment how she died. Because if you remember when he asked Melisandre what had happened, she kind of just gave him like a weird look, and she was just like, "Yeah, like it was terrible or whatever." And like she never actually told him.
No.
But then by the end of this episode, it looks like he really hates her now as a result. Like he was kind of like,
yeah, now he knows it where it was with a fire.
right. And the fact that she withheld this information from him, knowing that I think it would really affect him, right? Like I thought that was very effective this scene.
Well, it was a fire, right? That took her.
Of course, they
But
burned her
how
alive.
did the wood thing that he carved stay? Was it wood or was it actually?
May have had other materials in
Yeah,
it, but it
like,
was wood. It says wood here. I
iron,
mean,
yeah.
yeah. Maybe he had other things in it, like you said. Yeah, I don't know.
It just tripped me out because I thought about that too.
That really sucks, though, man. Like I
Yeah,
really
man.
felt bad that
But
he
you
found
seen
out
that
that
look
way.
in his face and his eye, and he was pissed.
Well, he realized it, right? Like he had asked about it, and now he found out, right? The hard way. Then back over here in Marine in the aftermath, Daenerys and Tyrion meet with Theon and Yara, who now have arrived. How about this situation? Hey, did you like
This is
this?
different. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Tion's like his like the secretary now.
Well, he's her hand.
Yeah,
Kind of,
exactly. It's funny, man, to watch this.
yeah. And then there's like a great back and forth between Tyrion and Theon. He's like, I remember the last time you saw me, you made fun of my height. I remember he's like, yes, all you guys that make fun of my height, you only have like the same 5 jokes and blah blah blah. Oh, it didn't really work out too well for you, did it? Right? The guy, like how he's saying those things. Yeah,
he's alluding to what happened with the capture.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't know because when Yara says and he paid for it, like after he said about all the shit that he did, he's like, oh, I don't know, you're still alive, so I don't know how you paid for it, right? I don't think he knows, right? They offered Dany their fleet of 100-man ships if she will help them deal with Euron, which is something she needs because she's been fucking wanting and needing ships this whole fucking time. Remember?
Yes, yeah.
So that's a big fucking deal. This is a big move. I forgot how big of a move this is because, like, for her, this is very important that they came to her with ships.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And support their claim to the Iron Islands. And they actually mentioned in this scene, which I guess maybe we'll see in House of the Dragon, possibly. They mentioned the fact that years ago they had lost the rights to the Iron Islands to the Targaryens at one point, right? I believe they talk about in this scene, right? Yeah, it's very interesting because like it actually pre-establishes a relationship that they've had with this family and I don't really think they spoke about that all too much up to this point, so like I thought that was really interesting. And all they're asking is for her to help kill their uncle and take him out so they can claim back what's rightfully theirs, because like their uncle is out of control, right?
Yeah.
And then she mentions the fact that her uncle said that he's coming over there to give him this great big cock or whatever, right? Which I thought was just,
it's one.
Yeah. Tyrion is wary of Theon based on what he saw of him at Winterfell and of his crimes against the Starks, but Theon insists that he has paid for what he has done. Daenerys agrees to support an independent kingdom of the Iron Islands on the condition that the Ironborn will cease all raiding, raving, pillaging, and rape. Yara is really upset about this suggestion. Basically says, that's our way of life, which I thought was fucked up because they're pirates. Like you said, they're pirates. Yeah. So like that is their way of life. Yeah. But it's just like to say that, stand there and say, oh, we like the raping. Like I'm just like, well, it's kind of fucked up. Like she's I get it.
Pig too.
She is. Why, yeah. Right? But Daenerys, she basically says that their fathers, Aerys, Tywin, and Balon, all left the world worse than they found it, but their alliance will make sure that they leave it better than they found it. And then Yara, swayed on this, agrees, and Daenerys and Yara seal their pact. Kind of like a big women of power kind of move here, right?
I'm to see that. It's like, what's going on with all these women now?
Yeah, women of power chat, bro. Like these are two, like, and you could tell in not so many words that
they both got balls too.
But that's what I mean. Daenerys actually is intrigued by her, I feel like, in this scene, because she's kind of like, oh yeah, I kind of like this woman, it seems like, because she recognizes what she's trying to do. And because at first she assumes that Theon is the one that's there fighting for them, right? Yeah. And he's like, I'm not fit to be the king of her people, right? And then she's like, oh really? It's you? Like she's like really impressed. It seems like that, and
she makes like a sex comment, like she's a dirtbag. She made like I think she got the hots for fucking.
Yeah. She's like, you can get it.
I can get it to you. I'll eat you out, right?
She says something along those lines. Yeah.
I've never been. Would she say something like, I've never been a stranger to bargaining or something like that?
Right.
Making a fucking joke.
Yeah. No, I like her. She's good. Yeah. So this is a good scene. This is a good scene.
Yeah. And then he's still tucked away. He's like the little bitch, but he's there. Yeah. He's
there. He's in the mix. He's in the mix. Interesting move. The armies in this next scene here, back to the Battle of the Bastards, gather the following morning as Ramsay brings out Rickon. After raising a knife, he cuts his bonds and tells him that they are going to play a game.
This was fucking crazy.
The only rule is to run towards your brother. As he does so, Ramsay pulls out a bow and starts shooting arrows at him as he's running towards him. and prompting John to urgently ride out on horseback to try to save him as he fires arrows at him. Ramsay appears to have no intention of hitting him with his first shots, but just as John approaches his brother, he's struck in the back with an arrow and killed right
But
in front
yeah,
of
that's
his
what I mean.
face.
He fucking teased him too, the fucker.
He's a sharpshooter. This fucking guy.
he-
With an arrow, that's his weapon of choice, as we've
Yeah,
seen many
exactly,
times. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so it's like this guy's this guy's messing with him.
Mhm.
He could get him from that fucking distance.
I also am kind of disappointed. Like the kid could have fucking tried.
I thought about that too. I was like, why isn't he zigzagging?
Yeah.
You know, why isn't he making it harder for him?
It's another Stark down. Not like Rickon was a big character, anyways.
No,
in the
he was
show.
gone for half
Right.
the time anyway. So it's like,
But,
where was
like,
he? He was off on vacation.
Kind of shitty though. But yeah, he's just taken out here.
I thought he died in John's arms too. That's another thing, right? So
Mhm. Devastated and enraged over his brother's murder, John charges at Ramsay and the Bolton forces alone. It sucked too because
Bastard fight,
you could see Tormund's face like when that happened. He's like, no, he's like, don't do it, because he knew as soon as that happened he was gonna fucking lose it. Like he's like, oh fuck, like you could
John
see
just charged.
Davos and Tormund were just like, shit. Like as soon as that happened, he's like, oh, it's over now. This guy's gonna go fucking like get ready, boys. Like he was just like, fuck, it's over.
Straddle up. That's
Yeah. Davos tells the Stark cavalry to charge. The Bolton archers fire at John and strike his horse, with John now defenseless in the middle of the battlefield. Ramsay orders the Bolton cavalry to charge at him. Pretty fucking crazy, this scene.
Fucked, eh?
So this is the scene that we kind of had talked about earlier. It was like a great fucking again, like nicely shot episode. This is great cinematography in this episode. There's a great scene, here that we see that John is getting trampled by his own people, and they do this big overhead camera view of him in the
finally
middle
got
of all
drones, I think, in
them.
2016.
Yeah.
Drone cameras.
As John brandishes Longclaw and prepares to fight to the death, the Stark cavalry smashes into the Boltons, narrowly saving John from being trampled. In the rear, Davos belays his orders to his archers to release arrows into the melee of infantry, as he announces that they would kill his men engaged in close quarter fighting, as well as the enemy. He eventually sends the archers forward to be of more use in the middle of the battlefield. Ramsay, however, has no such issue. He has twice the men to lose and little concern for killing his own. He repeatedly and purposefully orders arrows that kill all combatants in the middle of the field. Yeah, apparently in an effort to create. This is really smart on his part though. Apparently, in an effort to create a strategic barrier of human death in the center of the battlefield, bro. The way that they get them all to come together, and they surround them, very masterfully fucking done. Honestly,
where they had the shields and the things, and they were just poking them closer and closer into right to the middle.
Well,
until there's none left.
Well, I've seen it in other movies too. That is a move done by people. Yeah, back then is like, if someone else charges on you and you line your men up with shields and that, it gives them no other place to go but run into your
and if you're in a circle, you're going nowhere, right?
That's right. So that's kind of what they did, right? The Stark forces seem unaware of the strategy and developing trap. Bolton soldiers are ordered forward to create an impenetrable horseshoe formation of tall shields and spears that surround three sides of the Stark forces against the Death Mound and progressively compresses them into a helpless and dysfunctional mass. And this is what I was referring to. They do a great, like you said, shot downwards, like from up high, of John in the middle of all these like bodies that were basically stuck and getting fucking stabbed up by spears as a result of them failing to see this whole thing coming together, right? So he honestly, if it wasn't for what happens here in a moment, they were done. They were done. They were
bodies.
Done.
It was fucking crazy.
Simultaneously, Small John Umber leads a group of soldiers across the mound of corpses to attack the beleaguered Stark infantry from behind and complete the deadly envelopment. While 1-1, the big giant, is able to kill a few Bolton soldiers, it is not enough to break their phalanx. A panic sets in, and Tormund, sensing that they're losing, urges his wildlings towards the pile and possible escape. Man, your poor giant, buddy, bro. You're 1-1. We'll get to it. Amidst all this, John is trampled by his own forces, nearly suffocating under a group of men crawling on top of him, but is eventually able to get back to his feet. At this point, where the Stark forces face imminent destruction, a horn sounds out in the distance as Sansa and Littlefinger arrive with the Knights of the Vale. You probably have seen this coming, right? Like I knew I did. Like
I didn't know who was coming, but I didn't know where Sansa was right at first.
Right.
And then they showed just
but they did
before
set
that,
it up last episode. She
just
sent the
before
message
that,
to him.
Torment
Remember?
bites the guy's fucking neck wide
Uh-huh.
open. That was crazy,
Uh-huh.
man. Like a fucking wildling for real.
Yep.
Man. But
waving banners bearing the Aaron sigil. On horseback, they begin to cut down the Bolton soldiers from behind to disrupt the encirclement. They saved them.
like I know last time she had gone to go talk to them at one
Yeah,
point, right?
they saved
but
them.
I wasn't sure.
The Knights
right?
of the Vale saved them. The Knights of the and I, listen, they're no like I'm not like impressed by these guys, but they saved them in this moment. He's distracted by the arrival of the Aaron forces. Is caught off guard by Tormund, who bites out his foe's throat, as he said, and then kills the stricken Northman, stabbing him multiple times in the face with a dagger. As Ramsay sees his soldiers being cut down, he decides to retreat inside Winterfell.
Pussy.
But Jon, Wun, and Tormund begin to give chase. His general insists the battle is lost, but Ramsay assures him that they still have Winterfell and the Stark army is too weak for a siege, despite the Vale's reinforcements. Wun, however, is able to break down Winterfell's gates, allowing wildling archers to pour into the castle. The last vestiges of the Bolton garrison are quickly overwhelmed and slaughtered. Despite his valiant effort, Wun is still overwhelmed by arrows and finally killed when Ramsay shoots him through the eye. I know.
2 times.
The fact that they fucking had a giant and they lost them here.
I think is that the last giant ever now?
It's the last one that was part of this group of wildlings, right?
You
remember there was more.
No, there was another one.
Yeah, he died too.
Right? He died under the ground there.
That's right.
But I'm wondering if there's any more wildling.
We'll see. Stay
giants.
tuned. Despite the defeat of his army,
I don't even know where the other guys are with us. Remember what were those guys called that were part of the wildlings with the fucking?
Oh, they were another people outside of the wall.
Whatever happened to them.
The cannibals. Yeah. Despite the defeat of his army, he taunts Jon, saying he has reconsidered the option of one-on-one combat. Of course you have now. You're about to lose. Yeah. As Jon approaches, Ramsay fires 3 arrows at him with his bow, but Jon blocks them all with a Mormont shield that he picked up from the ground. Great, slick move. He
went running because he knew what he was gonna do.
Oh, sure. Before Ramsay can fire the 4th arrow, Jon gets close enough and smacks the bow out of his hands before striking him in the chest. This is a sick moment. So redeeming, and knocking him to the ground. Before Ramsay can stand up, Jon pounces on him and proceeds to savagely beat him with his fists to the pulp, right? While Ramsay uncharacteristically does not attempt to defend himself and fight back, merely grinning and maniacally through the beating, convinced Jon won't kill him. The smile is soon wiped off his face, however, as Jon continuously brutally pounds the coward. Shit. And it's true, coward is the word for him at this moment. Again and again.
Coward for most of the time, really, to be honest.
Only stopping upon finally noticing Sansa, realizing she has much right for her revenge as he does, and subsequently orders Ramsay locked up as a prisoner. Yeah, he looks over and she sees him like beating the shit out of him. But it's such a sweet moment for her to see him like fucking like pound the shit out of him. Yeah. Very validating moment for him and Sansa, right? So I just like how he threw down and kicked the shit out of him with all his boys there, like his men. Like he was just like, "Oh, hey, you want to do this? All right, fuck you." He fucking beat the shit out of him. Jon has never looked as tough as he did in this moment. Like, bro,
he just lost. But he's all like, now he's like, he's got his thing, he's got his hair still nice.
But the anger on his face though was unreal in this scene. Like he was pissed.
Oh yeah, but just to see him make it through all that shit, man, I don't even know how that happened, bro.
Yeah, he's there, bro. He's thriving. Wow,
he couldn't even fucking make it the first time, and now all of a sudden,
that's right. He didn't come back from the dead for nothing, right?
Yeah, fuck.
The Bolton banners.
He gets away. No, this is what I don't understand.
Go ahead.
5 people killed him the first time. Okay, it was 5 people. You know how many people were around him with weapons and shit, and nobody got him once?
Very true.
Very
true. The Bolton banners on Winterfell are torn down, and the Stark banners are raised in their place. Melisandre looks over the courtyard while Davos glares at her from
I like their flags, though.
Yeah, nice flags. Yeah. The direwolves.
Yeah.
Clutching Shireen's burned stag. John orders Rickon's body to be buried next to his father in the crypts as Sansa demands John to tell her where he is keeping Ramsay prisoner. This last
This is the
scene, bro.
last one, bro. Yummy.
Very validating once again, this scene. Yeah.
Perfect too,
Yeah.
right? Because it's just they used everything to go. Full
Karma's a
circle.
bitch, bro.
Use
Karma's a
Fergal's
bitch.
full circle. Yeah.
Karma's a bitch. That night, Sansa goes to Ramsay's kennels to confront her former tormentor, who is lashed to a chair within the common area of the kennels. Ramsay, belligerent and sadistic to the end, bugs her by basically goads her by telling her how she will never be rid of him because he is part of her now.
Well, I'm wondering, is she pregnant?
No, he's just, I've been inside you. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm
in your
I know.
head.
I mean, like,
I'm in your
I
head.
know nobody's gonna tell me the truth, but
I-
still.
I'm in your head. I took your virginity. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
look at all the things he took from her, right? So
I just wonder.
Sansa retorts that Ramsay's deeds and names will disappear from future memory. He then realizes that his hounds are slowly approaching him. I like how she dissed him with that too. She's like, "You'll be forgotten. Your name will be forgotten." Like,
Family,
yeah,
everything, yeah.
yeah. Like, you are no one. You're a bastard, and fucking no one cares about you, right? Uh, John, having deliberately left the kennel doors open to where Ramsay is bound,
That's
still
awesome.
covered in his own blood. At first, Ramsay denies, this, claiming that his dogs are loyal to him and he's not worried, right?
Yeah.
Sansa reminds him that he'd been starving his dogs for a week, as he had, was quick to
Yeah,
mention to them,
before
right?
that, yeah.
As they begin sniffing at him and licking their chops, Ramsay desperately orders them to heal, but they refuse to listen. As Ramsay's smug overconfidence finally crumbles into panicking terror, the hounds attack and begin to tear him apart as Sansa walks away, smirking with dark satisfaction as the barking of the hounds mingles with Ramsay's screams. The
But
only
you
thing that's
just
disappointing
rip 'em
about
out. The
this, I
dogs are
wish
beautiful.
I wish we seen this though a little bit.
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah.
would have been gross,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
like
you
there's
seen
so
the first part when they kind of
yes,
bites his nose or
face,
face,
yeah,
yeah.
his chin, yeah,
But
just
that was all
right
you
to
seen.
the-
It would have been
yeah.
nice if they were fighting over the arm or whatever. You know what I mean? Pulling it apart. But that's where the graphics come into play, right?
Right.
Like, so I mean, it wouldn't. But that you just alluding to it and knowing that that's what they were doing because that's what the dogs.
It was
did.
great. It was great.
Yeah.
Great death. One of the best deaths actually, I think, on the show so
Yeah.
far. Honestly, like
Yeah.
it was really great. And
He
again,
gets what he
he's
deserves.
very deserving of it, right? Yeah, Karma's a
He should have got
bitch.
raped by one of the dogs first, like he did to his wife, and then he should have been,
The dog just gets on all
they should,
fours.
yeah, should have got her, yeah, or a horse or something like that, and just gave him to that, and then give him to the dogs.
That would
after.
be good.
That would have been good. I see. I think more weirder than him.
Yeah, there
One
you go.
step ahead.
You're fucked up. I honestly,
You're fucked
great
up.
character, great death,
Yeah,
and
awesome.
well deserved, I think. And
Unfortunately, I didn't get to have coffee with him, but maybe in his next life.
do you make note of the last episode's name? I don't actually have.
Oh, I can check it.
I can
from
hold
here my
on.
phone.
Season 6.
Oh, that's
But,
right.
but yeah,
phone.
great.
I have it
Yeah,
open.
pull it up. Yeah, great episode. Great episode.
Oh,
The Battle of the Bastards. Ramsay was a great villain. Honestly, sad to see him go, but happy that he got his comeuppance finally in this scene. Right, Sansa finally got some revenge.
Oh yeah,
It was good.
She was happy. That's
And they took Winterfell back. They
That's
are now, it looks
officially
like, in
there.
charge of Winterfell, or somebody at least in their family, if not John and her, right? I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know. I don't know what the both one's a bastard, one's a girl. So who gets it?
Right? I guess we'll see.
The winter of the winds of winter.
All right. So the next episode, guys, the finale of season 6, The Winds of Winter. As I previously
It's gonna get cold.
as I previously mentioned in the show, we should have our guest Kyle coming back once again to join us for the finale of that episode. But yeah, once again, like and subscribe, and thank you for checking these episodes out, guys. We are getting closer and closer to the last 2 seasons here. Finale next week, and these will be dropping Thursday at 8, guys. But after that,
Nice.
13 more episodes to go, guys. 13 more episodes, Jay. So yeah, very exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's like, what are we gonna do after this? You
House of
know?
the Dragon.
I know, but still, it's like, holy fuck. It's like we just went through the whole series, man, and we're going well, almost, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting crazy.
Good
We
stuff.
got actually less to watch than we did. Obviously we've watched more than we have left, so it's kind of we're past the halfway, way past the halfway mark. So
Yeah. All right,
So that should
guys.
be interesting.
Well, that's gonna do it for this one, though. Unless there's anything else you want to add, Jay.
No, I know you're tired.
I'm tired, as you can tell,
We
but
got
yeah,
we
we
got
we
these
we
out.
did it up, and I hope that we did justice by these episodes. And yeah, guys, we'll see you guys next time with the guest.
Yes.
And thank you as always. See you
Told
next
I'd
time.
be paying more attention this time. So.
Good job. You did. Good job, Jay.
All right.
All right, later, everyone.
Peace out, guys.
Yeah.